Hey, I'm Bishop Charley Haynes Jr. I'm a presiding prelate, which is a presiding bishop in the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. I'm a thought leader, a cultural connector, but most importantly, I'm a leverage leader. Welcome to the Leverage Factor. Listen, I was born on the south side of Chicago, reared in Chicago, but most importantly, I've been in the West Coast for more than 23 years. Literally raised up as an adult in the city of Oakland, and now being in Southern California, Los Angeles, I find my niche in connecting with you. I want to talk about real issues. I want to talk about Black excellence. I want to talk about how you can have some real world strategies to make your life leverage through the leverage factor. I'm grateful that I've been challenged to do this because I have a message for you. A message that will change your life, transform your understanding, and most importantly, inspire you to be the best version of you. Many people have asked me, why this podcast and why now, when there's hundreds of podcasts out there? Well, simply, we want to illuminate hidden efficiencies. What that literally means is putting you in your greatest potential so that you can maximize outcomes. And then finally, we want to give you some real world strategies. I pray that I can introduce you to some amazing individuals who have done some things that many people thought were impossible, who've come from humble beginnings, but have made a major difference in their lives, in their careers, and in their families. So what is this podcast about? Faith-driven leadership. Leadership that's not just in belief, but in bold action. I often believe that when you are the sermon, people can trust you more than you just articulating your faith. I want to also talk about, in a real sense, cultural competency in crisis. We live in a cancel culture, but we have to teach people how to be culturally relevant without losing themselves in their character, especially in the midst of crisis. We want to talk about the ethics of influence, understanding how you can have favor over fame, understanding the reality of what that looks like in the context of how you live your life. And finally, we want to talk about resilient leadership and AI and anointing, where tech meets your faith in some resilient ways. The people who make it is not those who are the most gifted, but those who understand not to quit in the midst of the storm. This isn't just about inspiration, but this is about impartation, instruction, and insight for those who want to be cultural changers and movers. This podcast is for the young professional who's struggling with purpose, for that leader who is in and out of the church, but trying to still find relevancy. This is for the creatives, the entrepreneurs, for the clergy and the change makers, anyone who are called to lead with integrity, inspiration, but more importantly, to innovate with God's wisdom. This podcast is for you. Hey, people often ask, who is Charley Haynes? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have come from some humble beginnings. I'm grateful and thankful for my parents who reared me in a way that gave me some life skills that I could carry anywhere. My father, for example, was a supervisor, manager with the Wonder Bread Company. He saved up enough funds to start his very own restaurant. And from that restaurant, it led to over 6 stores. He died an entrepreneur. He understood the hard work of going to the restaurants at 10 in the morning and leaving at 2 a.m. in the morning. Many of those chefs, during my early years, I worked with them. I learned how to cook at the age of 6 because of my father. My mother was right there to support him. A loving woman who was always proud of me at every level of my life. I went to Chicago public schools, graduated, went on to Chicago State University. I'm a proud Cougar, where I have a bachelor's degree of African American Studies with the emphasis of African anthropology and a minor in psychology. Then I went on to seminary at the Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary at Northwestern University, where I earned a Master's of Divinity degree. And then I didn't stop there. but at the age of 29, I earned a Doctor of Ministry degree from the Perkins School of Theology at Southern Methodist University. I'm grateful and thankful that I had a full life, have 3 grown adult kids, 1 grandguy by the name of Maxton, and I've been in ministry for more than 30 plus years. Started my preaching journey, accepted my call at the age of 17. I got saved at 16. But God has blessed me to have an amazing ministry where I believe I found my niche was in California. I built a church in Southern California in Compton, the Curry Temple Church. Less than 90 days, we were able to complete a building that was 65% complete. And then God said, no, that's not where you're going to rest. And God allowed me to serve in the city of Oakland at the BB Memorial Cathedral Church, where we took it from 81 members for more than 3,400 members, quadrupling its budget, and had a storied history in the Methodist Church, which don't happen often. I stayed 19 plus years as a senior pastor. It was there that I began to hone my gifts and my skill sets around leadership. I was able to, during that time, be on the radio for more than 15 years at KBLX 102.9 as the word of inspiration. And I also served civically. Most of our mayors, at least 5 mayors in the city of Oakland, I was instrumental in helping get elected. I also served as the chair of the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. That's why I learned a little bit more of my business acumen. It was there that God called me to another calling. In June 2022, I was elected the 66th bishop of the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. Listen, in 154 years, there has only been 68 bishops elected in the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. It's almost like winning the lottery, but I know God called me to run because I had no desire to do so. And here we are today, a few years later, writing my 4th book, The Leverage Leader, and now we're dealing with the Leverage Factor podcast. That's a little bit of my story. Married, grateful for Lady Michelle, grateful for our children, but more importantly, I'm grateful to God to share my story with you. I need you to subscribe and share. drcharleyhames.com is the website. On all social media platforms, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and the Gram, Dr. Charley Hames. That's Hames. I want you to follow. I want you to subscribe. Tell everyone, because this will be transformative. I am Bishop Charley Hames Jr., and I want to welcome you to the Leverage Factor.